Hi, welcome again to this channel. This is about basic Bible. Well, basic Bible. It's bowling through the Bible. I keep changing it up. Bowling through the Bible, and we're reading the Bible for you so you can go closer to God. This is the part 2 version. So this is the fun part for me. We have a guest host today. We got Jennifer here with us.
Hello.
As you can see, we fired our last crew and got a new free crew that actually brought us coffee. So if you're ever out there and you want to volunteer for be the coffee runner, just leave a comment in the space below. So we'll try to get out with you because sometimes I just don't move very fast as an old man. But so we're going to go through this. Where were we at? Genesis chapter 25. We're just going to read a little bit. We're going to comment. We're going to read a little bit, comment, and we'll get going, right?
Sounds good.
Sounds good?
Sounds great.
All right, here we go. Genesis chapter 25 in the NIV version, New International Version. All right, Abraham took another wife. Why? Because Sarah died, right? Sarah died. Sarah already died. She died in the last chapter. And it's not to be to be fair, may not have hit by the time we made this recording. So it's one of those things. I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page. Sarah died. That's why he took another wife, whose name was, oh man, the names. Keturah. She bore him. Okay, these are sons' names now, or people's names. Zemron, Jokshan, Midian, Ishbak, and Shua. Okay, so that's the kids. Jokshan was the father of Sheba and Dedan. So he fathered 2 kids. The descendants of Dedan were the Asherites and, Asherites, the Letshurites, and the Lemuelites. So he's got three different clans coming out of this one guy. Yeah. The sons of Midian were Ephah, Epher, Hanik, Abidah, Eldiah. All these were descendants of Keturah. Okay. Abraham left everything he owned to Isaac because that was his true-born son, right?
Right.
From Sarah. But while he was still living, he gave gifts to the sons of his concubines, and sent them away from his son Isaac to the land of the east. Now that's interesting.
Yeah.
So what do you think about that? Let me just put you on the spot right now.
Oh gosh, yeah. Because why not?
Okay, you want me to lead a little bit here?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Take the lead.
We'll go with the lead, and you please feel free.
Yes.
So I find it interesting that Abraham had these other kids, other sons from concubines, not wife state. It's concubines. It's like maidservants again, right?
Right.
Remember,
right.
like his son Isaac,
Ishmael.
Thanks.
Ishmael. Yes.
High five. Yes. Hi.
Hi.
Sorry, I forget. I'm looking here and I need to talk there, and so it's like a back and forth. It's like this is kind of challenging. It's usually just me in the woods and a squirrel behind me. Anyways, so let me move over a little bit. Okay. So we have. So I think it's interesting that Abraham loved these kids enough to give them gifts,
right,
and then sent them away because he didn't want the conflict. I think with Isaac, right?
Yeah. Although, I mean, because there was conflict anyway with
Right.
Ishmael and Isaac and being sent off. And
Right.
I mean, yeah, that's hard.
It is. And I think that's a interesting character of Abraham because he still loved those kids.
Right.
And that he still cared enough to, and it probably wasn't just like, hey, here's a pocket knife, good luck, you see on your own. It was probably, gifts enough for him to be able to send them away and them to live comfortably.
Right. So, yeah.
It's interesting, right?
Very.
All right, so let's see. Sent them away to the land of the east. All right. Altogether, Abraham lived 175 years. Okay, then Abraham breathed his last and died a good old age, an old man full of years, and he was gathered to his people. His sons Isaac and Ishmael buried him in the cave of Machpelah near Mamre. Okay, so it's kind of like that with today's funerals, right?
Yeah.
Someone dies and like all the kin show up, regardless.
Yes. Although it's interesting that, just the situation that they were in at the time, that they were able to come together and bury their father.
Right.
Because I'm sure things were a lot of tension.
Probably tension, huh?
Yeah.
And it,
Kind of like things today too.
it could be,
It
yeah.
could be.
And the way they were sent out too, it doesn't say that here. And this is where I like feel like, where's the meat? Where's
Yeah.
this backstory? You know?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, did they love each other because it's been so long since they've seen each other, and they're like, oh, brother, you know, or were they like, you
Because
know,
I don't think when they
resentful?
were separated when they were kids, right?
Right. Yeah.
So like it would kind of be like, well, where's my playmate going?
Mm-hmm.
So you don't
That's a
know.
good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a good point. I wonder if
Yeah.
they had a little resentment toward their dad for doing that.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe. I mean, I don't know.
So here's the funny thing, because we just recorded this today. So, spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
I like the director.
I know.
You guys don't see behind the scenes, but yeah.
Yeah, it's a good
We get
one.
the.
It's a good one. Talk up here, not at me. Talk at the thing. All right, so we're talking at the thing.
Go ahead.
So today we learned that. That was great. Where was I going with that? Let's see. What did we learn today? Give me a second, guys. I'm so sorry. This was way back here. Chapter 24, 24, and 25. Maybe it was in... No, not the Bowls of Wrath. Okay, never mind. Okay, 75. Let me just reread this again. Okay, where he died. Okay. So where they buried him, right? And it says right here, good old age, blah, blah, blah. So they buried him at the cave of Mechphalah near Mamre. Okay, remember now, Mamre was where he set up his tent, right? And this field he bought. So I'm spoiler alert. You got to watch the previous episode, right, to get this. So if you didn't watch the previous episode, go back. What are you doing?
I get the whole story.
Right? Exactly. Get the whole story. Anyways, this is where Sarah's buried also, his wife. She had just passed, and so he buried her in this special lot that he purchased. And so that's where they're at right now. And Abraham, I think, really liked that because he was always talking about the trees of Mamre. He always camped there, you know, so definitely, yeah, it's a special place. All right, so keep going here. Let's see. Well, in the field Abraham had bought from the Hittites. There, Abraham was buried with his wife Sarah. Oh, I did spoil it. Okay. After Abraham's death, God blessed his son Isaac, who then lived near Bir Laharoi. I have no idea where that's at. Google it. Actually, I almost want to spell it for you, but I think I'm going to make you look it up in your Bible because that's what you're supposed to do anyways.
That's right, homework.
Right, homework. Homework. Okay, that is chapter. I'll even do one better for you. Chapter 25, verse 11. Okay, there's little numbers by each sentence kind of thing, and that's a verse. So chapter 25, the big numbers, and little numbers, going to be 11.
In Genesis.
In Genesis, yes, thank you.
I mean, you know.
Now, I like having a guest here. That's good. Keep me on track. Good job.
Sorry, thank you.
Liking it. All right, so we'll start with 12. This is the account of Abraham's son Ishmael, whom Sarah's maidservant Hagar the Egyptian bore Abraham. Okay, now we're getting into his story. These are the names of his sons of Ishmael, listed in order of their birth.
I get tense for you.
Do you?
Yeah,
really
I feel anxiety for you.
Oh, nice. I appreciate that.
I'm well, because better you than me. I'm just real. Like, he's reading for a reason, and it's because I will just butcher up the. It's all you, my friend.
Oh my gosh.
It's all you. This is for you.
This is like tongue twister, you know, it's like one of those things. And it, you know, I'd like to say it was a dead language, but it's still it's Hebrew. It's just I'm trying to read it through a English translation, so Hingrish is what we're calling it. Hingrish, the translation. All right. Nebaioth, the firstborn of Ishmael, Kedar, Adbeel, Mibsam, Mishma, Durma, Masa, were the sons of Ishmael, and these are the names of the 12 tribal rulers according to their settlements, and my finger follow this, and camps. That was tough. Altogether, Ishmael lived 137 years, breathed his last and died, and he was gathered to his people. His descendants settled in the area of Havilah to Shur, near the border of Egypt, as you go toward Ashur. and they lived in hostility toward all their brothers. They're such a peaceful people.
Oh, so peaceful, so peaceful.
So to me, it's interesting. Here they are living on the border of Egypt, and they're hostile toward all their brothers. You know. All right, well, I'm gonna keep going because I'm gonna put a pin in that one there. Jacob. This is about Jacob and Esau. And okay, this is the account of Abraham's son Isaac. Now, this is the lineage. This is the lineage God had promised him. Said you're gonna get descendants as numerous as the sand on the shore, as more than the numbers of the stars in the sky. This is this kid.
Right here?
This is this kid.
Okay.
So Abraham became the father of Isaac, and Isaac was 40 years old when he married Rebekah, daughter of Bethuel. It's almost like Manuel, but with a Beth in front. Bethuel. Okay. And Bethuel the Amorite, and Aramean, from Padan and Padan Aram. Deep breath. Okay. His sister was Laban the Aramean. Okay. Isaac prayed to the Lord on behalf of his wife because she was barren. The Lord answered his prayer, and his wife Rebekah became pregnant. The babies jostled each other within her, and she said, "Why is this happening to me?" So she went to inquire of the Lord. Well, all right, okay. Makes sense, right?
Yeah,
jostling. Yeah. Okay, so you obviously have had kids.
Yes.
I've met them.
Yes.
But no twins yet, right? I didn't see any twins.
Yet. Never.
Okay, we're done.
No, we're done.
I had 2 kids too, separate times.
Yes. Children,
but
yes.
I'm curious to know if you have twins, right? If that feels different than like a single kid.
I would assume, you know, you got 2 in the condo.
Right. And it's like not much more room
That's
in there.
That's right, you know, because I know if I were in there, I'd be like, get out.
Right. So
my side, I mean, I fight over the covers with my husband. Give me those.
It's still going on today.
Yeah. It goes, yeah. So, yeah. I'm sure there was a lot of motion and like, whoa.
Right. Yeah. And I think this really interesting to mention here, too, that this is the first mention of twins in the Bible, right? We didn't have any twins before this.
No.
So this might have been even a more exceptional time because they're like, you know, what doctor then would have been like, you're having twins. They'll be like, I don't know. They're one at a time. And so now maybe they're having twins. And thus, maybe she already consulted everybody, but she went straight to the Lord and she said, hey, what is going on here? What's happening? So the Lord says to her, 2 nations are in your womb, and 2 peoples from within you will be separated. One people will be stronger than the other, and the older will serve the younger.
How do you handle that news?
Yeah, right. I have no idea because I'm a man, so I'm gonna ask you as a woman.
No, how do you handle that news? Or like even as a father, go, look, I talked with God, and this is what He said.
Right.
And what do you scared? That's scary stuff there.
I'd be like, what do you mean there's a younger and an older one? Wait, it's one pop out now and then one pops out 6 months later? Or how does this work?
Yeah. New stuff, new territory.
It's definitely new territory for these guys. This is funny. Let's see. And then the people, okay, so one will be, the younger will serve, or the older will serve the younger. Okay, but when the time came for her to give birth, there were twin boys in her womb. The first came out, was red, and his whole body was like a hairy garment. So they named him Esau. There's a reason for that name. And I'm going to make that your homework too, because, I'm cold and I don't want to look it up so you're on your own. Esau. Well, maybe I can give a cheat note here. Let me see if I really want to do that. If it's close, I'll do it. No, you're on your own.
Okay.
All right. After this, his brother came out with his hand grasping Esau's heel. So his brother was holding on as they're coming out. So he was named Jacob. Isaac was 60 years old when Rebekah gave birth to them. The boys grew up, and Esau became, and that's the older one, right? Esau, he was first.
Yes.
A skillful hunter, a man of the open country, while Jacob was a quiet man, staying among the tents. Isaac, that's their father, Isaac, who had a taste for wild game, loved Esau. Of course, right? He's bringing in wild game.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But Rebecca, his mom, loved Jacob. Of course, he's hanging out with the tents all the time, right? I mean, he's like,
he's a cuddle bug. Like,
yeah, oh
like,
yeah, mama's boy, right?
Mama's boy.
Yeah, she's sitting there going, hey, can you give me some coffee? Okay, mommy.
Yeah,
and she'd go get it, or maybe tea, whatever they had. Can I get some warm goat's milk?
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Okay, Mom, I'm there for you. Who knows? Once Jacob was cooking some stew, Esau came. Okay, so we already know. Yeah, Jacob, we were right. He's cooking stew, so he definitely has a way in the kitchen.
Yeah. Gotta love it.
That's pretty good. Okay, so he's in the kitchen cooking stew. Esau came in from the open country, famished beyond hungry, and he said to Jacob, quick, let me have some of that red stew. I'm famished. That is why it is also why he is also called Edom. Okay, so Jacob replied, first sell me your birthright. Okay, so obviously this kid's got some brains, right?
Uh-huh.
I mean, he's like, you're a firstborn, and let's barter. It's time to barter.
Yeah.
Not for skin, not for tools.
You've got something I want.
Right? Yeah. Exactly. If you're that hungry.
Yeah, exactly. How hungry are you?
Right. And I wonder if Esau just kind of was like, whatever, that's not going to happen. These guys live into 130 years old. Whatever. Just take my birthday.
That's another thing about, like, gosh, I mean, they lived so long.
They did.
I'm 45 and I'm just drained. I can imagine going, oh.
Some of these guys are having kids in their 70s.
I know. No.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't keep up with the ones I have.
I couldn't do it either. I don't think
Not even with coffee.
No. It'd be like you'd have to get like the big Bubba mug of coffee just to start your day out with that kind of stuff.
Yep.
I couldn't do it.
Mm-mm.
All right, so here we go. He loved sorry. My finger slipped. Sorry, guys. First, tell me your birthright. Look, I'm about to die, Esau said. What good is a birthright to me? Okay, but Jacob said, swear to me first. So he swore an oath to him, selling his birthright to Jacob. Then Jacob gave Esau some bread and some lentil stew. He ate and drank, and then he got up and left. So Esau despised his birthright. So it's interesting that
I could just see him going, eat up my brother.
Right.
Is that good?
Right. Hey, you want some bread with that, bro? I'll give you some bread. That's a little extra, though. Yeah, interesting. Giving up his birthright just for a meal. So he was pretty hungry, right?
Yeah.
And we're going to find out in the next chapter, I think. Isaac and Amalek. Let's see. I get to cheat a little bit on my Bible. Nope. It's 2 chapters from now. We're going to find out how important that really is. And it's funny, too. It might have been something that wasn't really legit. Right? Yeah. Because the birthright was established through his birth, right? He was born first.
Right.
And so I think we're going to learn later on the blessing when it comes from the matriarch, the male, whatever, the head of the family. There is a blessing that's given, and it's a physical blessing. Right. And that's coming. So he also needs that to really, I think, kind of seal the deal and finish it off.
Right.
Well, that's going to be interesting.
Stay
tuned. But what else did you think? What was the most intriguing part? Now, we talk about learning about God through these stories that you've heard today, or this chapter. What is something that you attribute to being a character of God?
Well, it sounds like we're going on keeping your word. Mm-hmm. What you say is important.
Yes.
I mean, really,
yeah, giving up your birthright.
That, and then just having trust in God.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I agree. And then also the love, right? Because Abraham loved
all of them. Just say all of them.
All of them.
You look in the Bible and read all of them.
Right.
All of them. That's a lot.
Yeah, all the names on top of that. But it's funny because Abraham had legitimate kids, Esau and Ishmael, illegitimate kids through his concubines. But he still loved his illegitimate kids enough to give them gifts and send them on their way. And Jesus talked, back here. I love talking about this part. This is my favorite part back here. Jesus talks about this too. He's like, if you're a good dad, you're a good father, you know how to give good gifts, And so this is one of those times. It's like, man, he was a good dad. Yeah. We could say that of Abraham. Abraham was a good dad.
Oh, yes.
Yes. And he was concerned about all of them. Even Ishmael, he was concerned for when he had to send him away. And it took God's promising, hey, Ishmael's going to be fine. I'll take care of him. He'll become his own nation. He'll become a great people. So that's a good thing to learn about God, is knowing that he's loving like that, and he's always there for us. So, all right, it was a special edition.
Yes.
What are we calling this? The Midnight Coffee Edition? Is that what we should call it, right?
Yeah, midnight coffee, cold.
A little chill, a little crisp in the air.
Yes.
Holidays are right around the corner.
That's great.
I love that. That's my favorite time of the season. So thank you, Jennifer, so much for coming out.
Thank you.
Actually, let me come out, I guess. I'm outside, so this is great. My favorite room.
Yes.
Outside. But thanks again.
Thank you.
Appreciate the input and comment. We'd love to have you on again.
Yes, thank you. I'd love to be on.
That's
Thank you.
great. Excellent.